Alright, hello everyone. Amanda here with Eclectic Scribbles, back to you today with a brand new video. Today is going to be another swatch, pen test, and review video. So last week when I purchased the Scribbles journal, I asked the people in my live what else they would like to see tested, and I told them that these Arteza, whichever way you say it, real brush pens had sort of been on my list for a while, and I was going to go ahead and purchase this, and that's definitely something that a few people wanted to see, so that is what we are going with today. So I purchased this off of Amazon for $35.99. It is a set of 48 real brush pens, and these are the sort of fiber tip. They are the brush tips that come apart, so it's like an actual paintbrush, not like a Tombow. Alright, so while you could use these for something like lettering, it is more for coloring. Although if you have a really steady hand, you can certainly use these for something like lettering and practicing your brush lettering. Alright. First things first, that was the package. It's a really sort of flimsy plastic, very lightweight package. I wasn't expecting much, so you'll definitely have to find something to put these in. This is the pack of 48. You can get up to 96. 48 is the largest you can purchase off of Amazon. There are 96 colors available on their website for about $65, $66, something like that. Now, these are supposed to be comparable to the Zig Clean Color Real Brush Markers, which are available in a variety of colors as well. I think 80 colors is the total you can get off of the Zig Real Brush Markers from Kuretake. That being said, those markers are generally about twice as expensive. So the pack of 48 clean color real brush markers is $65, $66 on Amazon right now. So for the same price, you can get all 96 of these Arteza. And if they're decent as far as the pigmentation and the watercolor colors in them, this would be a much cheaper buy. So we'll have to see about the quality of the pens. Now, I don't have the full set of Zig Clean Color brush markers, but I do have several individuals that I have bought open stock at local art stores. So I will compare them directly to these, since they should be very, very similar. In addition, the 48 pack of Arteza brush pens comes with its own water brush. I went ahead and put some water in this one. As far as I know, the Kuretake Clean Color brush markers do not come with a additional water brush. Alright, but what we're going to do is look at the pen first in comparison to the Clean Color, and then I will walk you through what I think about the actual pens themselves, and then we'll do the swatches. And I will swatch it in my Scribbles That Matter journal, although I know that these are watercolors and they will bleed through with any kind of reel going over it more than once, but they should be all right to just go over once like a Tombow, but we'll see. All right, anyway. So first things first, this is the Arteza Real Brush Pen. I will put it up against the Zig Clean Color Brush Pen. It's a little bit longer. I can go ahead and tell you that it has a larger brush on it, so you should get a more varied sort of line width out of it. So here are the brushes up next to each other. This is probably around the size of a Tombow sort of brush nib, although like I said, these are like a paintbrush. They're not going to be solid like a Tombow, so the bristles will come apart on these, but it is much bigger than the Zig. The top felt like it went on nice and securely. Let's check that out again. It has like a it has like the little hook deal, which is weird for a brush marker, but that's okay. The top goes on nice and secure. It doesn't really come off a whole lot, and it'll sit on it'll sit on the back end nice and secure as well, so you're not going to send that flying across the room. Alright, let's look at the barrel. It has Arteza on here, real brush pen, and you've got the color name and the color number. So that is a good point to make, that the color name and color number for each one of these is actually on the pen itself, which will make it easy to replace or know which ones you're running low on. It's water-based ink. It is non-toxic. The barrel is supposed to be comfortable, and you're supposed to use it for watercoloring, and brush lettering. So whatever you want to use it for, it's supposed to be watercolor. All right, let's get in here, and I am going to swatch these out. I've already written out the 48 colors that I have. I don't know if they are in any particular order, so I may have to go through here and find the colors, but that's all right because they're right here on the thing. So I'm going to swatch all 48 of these out. We'll do a couple of tests on this side of the paper once we're done, and then swatch it in journal and see what we think. All right, be back in just a minute. All right, there we have all 48 colors, and I've got to say, I am a little impressed with the color laying down smoothly. It's laying down evenly. It's not chalky. It's very, very nice. It's very saturated. The color names are very representative of the ink that are in, and the watercolor that's in the actual brushes. I didn't see anything that stood out that didn't match the cap, so that's really nice as well. So the ends and the tips are definitely indicative of the color that is going to come out of the brush. It's a nice thick brush. I'm going to go ahead and sort of press down and see how thick a stroke versus how thin a stroke I can get with this walnut brown here. All right, my hands are extremely shaky, and I really suck as far as lettering is concerned with this type of brush marker. That was another reason why I purchased these, so that not only could I watercolor with them, but I could get some practice in, because I need sort of a firmer tip to really be able to letter anything smoothly. But this is the walnut brown here, and what do I have here? I have a gray brown here. I don't know if I have a color that matches really, really closely, but I want to see the tip size in comparison. So let's see what we've got going here with the Zig Clean color. Alright, so with the Zig, you've got a very much smaller, probably about half the size in the brush tip here, and so you're going to get about half the size that you can get with the other one. This actually felt a little dry going down, but then it sort of evened out, so that might have just been my pen. Alright, so that's just a quick comparison there. I don't really have a gray that matches this one. This is a slightly warmer tone than these that have sort of blue undertones in them. I will say, if you didn't notice, the actual tops to these things are very, very secure. I had to like pull several of these apart to get them open, so I'm working on my He-Man muscles here today, but that's a good thing. It'll definitely help keep your pens from drying out. Now what I want to do is sort of blend a couple of colors together real quick on this watercolor paper and use the water brush and see what we have going on here. So I think we will use something from the pinks and purples. I will also say that the color is sort of a really nice selection of colors for 48. You get a skin tone, you've got some darker skin tones in the browns over here, you've got a nice selection of browns, a nice selection of grays. Blues and greens are sort of really off the chart, but you still have oranges, yellows, you know, some selections of pinks and reds and purples. So the purple is maybe a little lacking, and you could have used a couple of those instead of maybe a couple of these blues in the 48 pack, but I'm sure that the 96 pack is a little bit more varied as far as that's concerned. So let's see if I can get some blending happening here. Let's see, I've got the rouge pink, and I will try that with the, how about bubble bath pink? Since it's a little bit lighter, maybe we'll see a little bit more variation there. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so you can see that first my water brush, I had to get the water down in there, but okay, so they blend out a little bit, but it's not great as far as the blending is concerned. Maybe with more or moving a little bit faster on different kind of paper. This is a hot press watercolor paper. Maybe you could get a little more happening there. It's not that they don't blend, it's just that maybe it doesn't pick up as well with water as it claims to, but you could definitely get a blended effect. Once it's down there. Okay, that being said, I mean, as far as the colors are concerned, again, it is a very nice selection of colors. The actual pigmentation and saturation of the color is really nice. It's not chalky at all when it goes down and dries. So I'm actually impressed with the watercolor portion itself, but let's also sort of test it over in a book. So I'm going to pull out my trusty Scribbles that matter here. Let's flip to the back, and I'll just move up a page since I've got watercolor on this page anyway, and see what we've got going on. Let's pick a darker color here. I'll use the grape purple from this first row and see what kind of bleed through we're looking at with these watercolors. Alright, so here's just a little scribble, the number to reference, and then I also did these oranges and blended them into each other without the water brush. So let's see how bad the bleed through is on the back of this. Alright, so that's not bad actually. I was expecting it to come through a little bit worse. So the one stroke over the top without any blending is a little shadowy, but did not bleed through at all. It only bled through, or started to bleed through a little bit when I started blending colors together. So you're really just going to have to be careful as far as that's concerned if you want to blend the colors into each other. I'm also going to try this lighter yellow and sort of mustardy, this is sunset yellow, together and see if I can do that again. Alright, using the two brush pens only and no water brush, it's starting to blend together a little bit better. So that's a little bit nicer and a little bit of a smoother blend, and it didn't bleed through as bad. It might start to bleed through. You just have to be really, really careful if you're going to use these in a bullet journal or in a planner. If you've got slightly lower GSM paper, you're definitely going to want to test this out. And if you are okay with gluing some pages together, you know, back to back, then of course you can use these a little bit heavier, but just, yeah, be aware that they are watercolors, and if your paper cannot handle watercolor, it is going to bleed through on you. So be prepared for that when you start on whatever page you are writing on. But otherwise, the colors selection is really nice. The colors are vibrant. I would definitely say they are worth the money. The brush tip is a nice size, and in comparison to the Kuretake, you can get the full set of these, which is 96 colors, for the same price that you can get 48 of these bad boys. So they're definitely something I would give a good thumbs up to. They're definitely worth the price. I don't have anything really negative to say about the actual pens themselves. I'm not great at blending. Someone better at blending might be able to do a little bit better than I did here. But as far as the watercolor itself, inside the pens, the brush tip, the quality of the actual pen itself and everything, it is definitely worth the price. So if you have any other questions about these, if you have another set of pens that you would like to see reviewed here on the channel, definitely let me know those down in the comments. I will continue the conversation down there. But that is going to wrap it up for today's review and swatch test. So I will see you again here next time. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up if you found it at all helpful. Until next time, happy journaling, everyone, and happy watercoloring. Bye.